We've been talking about love a lot. I feel like we've done this love album 3 times.
Surely you jest.
No. No. Also, back in our comfy chairs.
Well, it is true what you say. My plaid-wearing friend.
Grunge. It's called grunge.
This video was supposed to go out on Friday.
It did not.
It often we make videos at first, but sometimes we make videos at last.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, we've talked about 2 love records. We talked about the first album, self-titled.
Yes.
And we talked about False Start.
That's right.
From 1970, which I thoroughly enjoy.
Agreed.
Yes. We've kind of been on a mid-60s, late 60s...
rampage.
Kick lately.
Yeah.
We just did Friends, and we talked about Amboy Dukes. And I have been listening to some of these things. I actually thought about talking about the Music Machine. I put on Electric Prunes, because why not? And
why not?
And
13th Floor Ladies.
And I was just thinking about all the Nuggets groups, basically. That's what it is. And that was a pretty important compilation.
I think it was for a lot of people.
Yeah. When I got that, I definitely knew a number of the groups. I really don't remember. It was a long time ago. But there are things like the Amboy Dukes, which the Baby Please Don't Go, and I wasn't even paying attention. I knew that I think I cut that out of the video. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell the story, of that starting and hearing the guitar, and I'm like, that's got to be somebody. And then I was like, yeah, it's Loincloth. So that was but there's so much great stuff on that. And Love was probably the biggest revelation, I would say. No pun intended. Anyway.
Well, Love was one of those bands for me that I always read about. They were always listed on, greatest albums lists and things like that. It was always Forever Changes, though. And no mention of any other album ever. And so at the time, ages and ages ago, I didn't know anything about Love. And, I might as well have just thought, I know, I still don't know anything about Love. I basically thought that, I guess they have one album.
Yeah. They get they have the Beach Boys treatment in that respect with
yeah, it's their Pet Sounds.
The first album is folk rock. The second album is, this.
Yeah.
The Capo. And then their masterpiece, and then that's it.
Yeah, not true.
They do get that treatment. Anyway, that has nothing to do with talking about. You've just dragged this into complete irrelevancy. That was just a little bit of
background for their enjoyment.
Da Capo, I don't remember if this was the first album I got or the second. I actually have no memories.
After Forever Changes.
I don't know if that's the first one I got.
Really?
No, I don't know if it is. Because what actually led me to get a Love record?
7 and 7 is.
Was actually, I think, Mission of Burma, because they used to do...
Oh, yeah, Can't Explain.
Can't Explain as an encore, and I was, listening to Mission of Burma a ton, and, and I think I got the first album first.
For that song. That makes sense.
And then either this one or whatever. This is not
important.
It
does matter.
Why are
you
you making me say these things?
It doesn't matter, but it does matter, because it's all about us.
Da Capo, I fell in love with this album, definitely. It's Forever Changes is to me flawless, and it is a masterpiece, and it's like Pet Sounds in the sense that I don't want to put it on too often, so I don't...
Also gives you the cries.
No, but this I can put on all the time, and I'd have listened to this a billion times. We talk about music all the time. I mean, before this channel, and during this channel, and even right now.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
After birth, childhood, young adulthood, adulthood.
Right.
And now.
Sure. Early senility. But I have no idea what I was just saying.
You love this album. You were saying we're always talking about music.
This album is still difficult to talk about in a way. It's so absolutely clever. The songs are so perfect. I don't know how to say this. It's gonna sound weird. Perfectly ornate.
That's lovely, Sean.
Thank you.
Well, perfect. Arthurly.
Why are you dragging this into complete imbecility?
Oh. Is it me?
Is it your shirt? I think it's your shirt. You're trying to be early 90s edgy, and I don't appreciate it.
I don't have to try.
I mean, I think there's no question. Side 1
It was also, I mean, I think it's hard. We were saying earlier when we were talking about
That's
music.
okay. That sentence can just stay there.
Oh, I thought you were done. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We were just saying how this album is actually difficult to talk about because
Clearly.
It clearly is. No, it truly is, because what do you compare it to? What do you call it? You know, I mean, we always avoid the obvious genre terms and the, you know, things that people tend to fall into. We try to make things harder for ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's what we do here. But honestly, you know, all of the songs are they're really differentiated.
You're from Kansas.
They're so varied.
Thank you.
They're really, you know.
Differentiated? Where are you from?
I don't know. No, truly. There's different stylistic elements on each song. You can't really categorize it easily in a way that
it's love. And it is extremely different from the first album. There are similarities with Forever Changes, particularly The Castle, I think, is a song that could have been on Forever Changes, but most of the other songs, they really don't sound like anything that they had done before or after. They're really special.
Some are subtly folky, but not too folky.
It's definitely there.
You know, some of the songs are super upbeat and like...
It's definitely Bacharach-y.
There's some
There's definitely that influence there. There's no question.
Yeah. You know, you've got the, you were saying, you know, there's like
which
the
brings
Baroque elements. There's like Spanish elements.
Yes. There's a Spanish tinge.
Yeah.
Different from Jelly Roll Morton's. But I mean, like Bacharach does bring that jazziness and a little classical influence as well. You know, so any influence from Bacharach, and I think a lot of people
also melodic.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know.
We had a lot of people influenced by Bacharach, and maybe more than anyone would like to admit.
Right.
For some reason.
I can't.
Forest Hills High School.
For Bacharach. Yeah. A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Good people. We didn't go there.
No. I didn't go to high school. I was too poor.
Me either.
Yeah. Anyway, the one thing I'll say, you know, we just, we are, I would say we're apologists for a number of things. We're not terribly critical of the things that we love.
That's the idea. We're talking about things that we really like.
I mean, you don't see us, you know, burning all the other records that we really despise. We use them as pie plates. Frisbee.
Far out.
I knew you were gonna. When we were talking about Friends, we were saying how we're not critical of the Beach Boys because to us it's sacred and it's such a gift, and we are those people that, you know, walk around humming "It's a Love Thing" in perfect bliss. If you find that distasteful, I'm sorry.
We are those people.
But I won't defend one thing. I really don't like Revelation.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of regards, I think of this album as just, you know, one side. And in that sense, you know, it's really perfect.
It's amazing how good that side is.
All of those songs are just so freaking amazing. But yeah, I'm just not...
jammy.
I'm not jammy. I'm not bluesy jammy. It's just a little too much for me. And
it's 18 minutes long. Say. And we talked about this when we were talking about Rolling Stones. We talked a little bit about Arthur Lee's allegations that the Stones did this or that, but actually that we both prefer Going Home.
Yeah, I do.
It's also only 11 minutes.
Yeah, so, you know.
And not jammy.
So you get those precious 6 minutes of your life back. Yep. 7. Wait, what did you say?
I said 11. It's 18 minutes.
7.
Good.
Math.
We can subtract, we can add, we can do all sorts of things.
This isn't a math channel, Sean.
We're not a jazz band.
This isn't a math channel.
Anyway, I've listened to it many times, but I tend to skip it. And I mean, that's easy to do on vinyl. Extremely easy to do. You don't have to skip it. You just never let it happen.
Don't do it.
You don't flip it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to skip it.
Don't flip it.
If you don't want to skip it, don't flip it.
That's a t-shirt, Sean.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a t-shirt.
Stephanie Knows Who is such a stunning song, and there really is nothing like that, and was nothing like that. You know, odd time signatures and the way a kind of angular feel it has.
Yeah, it kind of like starts and stops. It's like changing, shifting, and
there's just nothing like that song. It grabs you immediately. There's it's both pretty and it's intense.
Oh, it is. Even the way he sings, you know, it's just so so forceful and like confident, forceful.
It does presage what's on the rest of the album, I think. You know, I mean, then you have Brian McLean's song "Orange Skies," not sung by him. Never read exactly why he didn't sing this.
Such a pretty song.
It is
really, really beautiful, beautiful melody.
All the albums he's on are benefited by his songs. Amazing. I'm a huge fan of Arthur Lee. I think he's an incredible songwriter, an incredible lyricist. One of my favorite lyricists. So many great lines on this album. He has such great imagery. I was gonna say this, and I'll just put this out there because it really doesn't matter. But a lot of his songs, have the feel of an outsider. There's a very interesting perspective that he always brings. It's just, but always poetic.
Yeah.
Very seldom stated outright. He's just a wonderful lyricist. I think he has one of the most dynamic voices. He is kind of like we're talking about Ray Davies with his different voices, although it's totally different. He does have a number of voices.
Yeah.
And
you can do a lot of different styles.
You do hear them on this album. You hear all of them. And such,
great range. It's awesome.
Even his softest voice, though, carries a little bit of edge to it to me, though.
It's almost like
or maybe it's just his words.
I think it's a combo, but it is you get this sense of like there's almost like this chance of like breaking apart. It's like a fragility. Even when he's singing forcefully and aggressively, there's like I don't want to say tenderness, but like it's so open. There's such an openness that it's almost comes through as like breakable.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Whatever.
Well, it all made perfect sense. That's how I hear things.
Yes.
I don't talk about lyrics, but I can talk about vocals. I don't hear words. I feel them. That's a shirt.
You almost quoted Star Trek 4.
I have a photographic memory. I see words.
You did too much LDS. 7 and 7 is of course, I mean, that is one song I had heard before getting this, and it's on Nuggets. And I just always, it's funny. I don't think I've ever seen anyone say this, but to me, it always sounded like a hot rodded surf kind of song.
Yeah.
Like just like pushed to the nth degree. And the thing about it, I mean, other than just the fact that it's like pure energy, I just love the guitar. I love the progression. I love everything about the way the guitar sounds on 7 and 7 is.
Yeah, I think 7 and 7 is a great song to like give to someone if they're like, oh, what is love? Like, what do they sound like?
I mean,
I think that's like a perfect introduction.
They don't really sound like that, but
I know, but it's like it's such a great song. Like if you're gonna try and grab people and make them want to listen to more.
Well, it's one of the most just intense songs I can think of before you get to like Slayer or something. I don't know what Slayer. Slayer. And like I said, the castle is folkier, a little folkier. But everything has. I mean, one thing. I don't love flute. And I mean, that's not a dig at Jethro Tull. A little bit, maybe.
It is a little bit.
But I don't really love flute and rock and roll. But this is probably certainly one of the best uses of it.
I always thought it sort of not exactly dated it, but kind of, put too much of a like, oh, this is like one of those flute songs.
No, I think it contributes a lot.
No,
to this.
I'm just saying in general, flute.
Now you are attacking Jethro Tull. Let's be clear here. Take off the plaid and tell me what you really think.
I've seen Jethro Tull in concert.
I know.
Take that.
Jethro Tull, he's really good. We really like him. Jethro he's pretty talented. And I mean Beverly Hillbillies when I say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, one side of just perfect music that no one had ever heard anything like, and still even now it's so unique.
I don't get tired of these songs.
And it's not as famous as it ought to be, so it would still be new to a lot of people if they heard this. I would skip Revelation. I would, but
don't flip.
I mean, you should listen to it at least once. I'm not saying skip it altogether, but I mean,
you might like it. People might like it.
Yeah, people like a lot of things.
People come, Ray. Thank you for watching our discussion of Love's to Capo. Make sure to let us know what you think of this album in the comments. Like this video, please, and subscribe to States and Kingdoms, and we'll see you next time.